Good afternoon from ENCA's Money Desk. South Africans are feeling the pinch of rising food prices due to logistical costs, power cuts and input costs. Meat prices especially have South Africans gasping. Now, investment is needed in the agriculture sector to tackle these issues. The Rainbow Hammarsdale Plant in KwaZulu-Natal has reopened today with millions of rand investment to boost production. We speak now to the Agriculture Minister, Thoko Didiza, for more on this. Minister, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. How crucial is investment in the agriculture sector, and is there an appetite for more investments in this sector?
Well, thank you very much. As you have indicated in your introduction, investment is very critical in the agricultural sector, because through investment in the agricultural sector, we ensure that we increase our production so that food and fiber can be available to our citizens. It's also important because through increased production, we can also sell to other countries, which that means boosting our trade opportunities. So I must say that what we've seen today with Rainbow's expansion, it actually also talks to job creation of many people who were retrenched in that plant in 2017. There is more appetite for investment in the sector.
And just on that, the unemployment is rife in South Africa. And how can such investment boost job creation? And with that, I mean long-term job creation, not just one-off projects.
Yes, I mean, if you look back at the history of Rainbow, this is an old plant in South Africa. The plant that we're in today, for instance, was started in 1960. So if you look at it from that time to date, that plant has been resilient. It has weathered the storm. Even with 2017, when there was a retrenchment that took place, they were able to continue and find ways of opening up and expanding this very plant. Interestingly, they've actually brought back the workers that were retrenched. Even today, they were still announcing that workers who are in the plant, who know others who are working there who are retrenched, they must actually advise them that they must go and apply because they are employing again. Which therefore means that if an industry is, having a particular niche in the economy and can be able to sustain itself, it not only requires investment, but it also requires good relations in terms of its workforce, because workers are part and parcel of, the growth in our industries and in our economy.
So the newly reopened plant will focus on exports. Do you think we can produce enough to be a competitor on the export market? What is our status there?
Let me say, if you recall, in 2019, 2020, we worked together with Minister Patel in actually developing a poultry master plan, which is really a long-term view of how we can grow the sector in a way that it is able to produce enough food for South Africans, but also position it to be able to trade and be able to gain foreign exchange. And I must say that one of the things the master plans look at is how these industries can be inclusive to bring in, participants who are historically disadvantaged. In the industry, for instance, in poultry, one of the ways in which they have done that is to bring in independent farmers and contract them so that though they are involved in primary production, they can actually sell their goods in the abattoirs with those who have got abattoirs and processing plant like we've seen in Rainbow. So the value chain in agriculture will start from production up to processing. And there are many employments at every given stage of the industry that gets created.
And then lastly, Minister, you are launching tomorrow the Agro Energy Fund. How will this alleviate pressure in the sector?
Well, you know that particularly industry and ourselves as South Africans have actually feeling the pinch of the energy security. So what government has been doing, have been looking at various ways in which we can intervene. Earlier on, your anchor was also engaging, on what are the possibilities and partnerships that we've seen following the BRICS meeting and what China has offered to do. But equally, since beginning of the year, we have been working with Eskom to look at other ways of ensuring that our agricultural sector can still remain producing despite the challenge that we're having. That had included load curtailment. Secondly, it has also meant repurposing from dependent on grid generation to look at alternative energy sources. So what this fund will do is really to meet the agricultural producers, farmers, and industries halfway so that they can be able to support the choices that they've made in their industries in order to ensure that they have enough energy for production purposes.
Thank you so much for your time, Minister. That was Agriculture Minister Thoko Didiza.